built in 1965, was the Breyer Motorsports Park, which is now the site of the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. But surprisingly enough, just looking into this track, did not realize is kind of newer compared to some of these tracks. Built in 1990 is the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and houses not only the 1 mile oval that we'll be racing on here tonight, but also has a road course that is integrated, and you can see it right there on the screen on the left hand side there, that actually takes you up and out of the oval track, and it can be a pretty fun little road course there for anyone that wants to venture on it. But does host a variety of SCCA vintage sports car events, motorcycle events, and the facility itself is big enough to host 105,000 spectators, and it's pretty amazing when you take a look at this facility in general. But the track itself, bit of a paperclip style, 1 mile oval, very, very flat in the corners, and really tough track to get around if you're not used to driving on these flat corners like New Hampshire, like Milwaukee. It can be a very tough track to navigate around, so we may see some guys are more specialized in this for sure. Carl Landmark joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, little flat track action here at New Hampshire. It is over a mile. It is 1.03, so that 03 has got to put it over that short track moment for you.
Yeah, Carl. It's not too bad here. It is a lot of patience around the corners being flat. A lot of work with the tires, and watching a lot of people, pushing the limits here during practice, trying to, be able to get that best time in for around here to see where they will start here tonight. But definitely going to be a little bit more challenging for these drivers, but looking forward to seeing what these drivers can do for the next 150 laps.
Obviously, the series took a week off last week, but back in action here tonight for race number 14. Back in race number 13, it was all Andrew Pileshi, as he ended up going back-to-back, winning at Charlotte and then winning at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and helped him move up the standings a little bit. Actually, check that. That was 2 in a row, but then Watkins won 2 weeks ago. For some reason, the standings not in here for the sim racer hub where they use here. But Dalton Kilroe shown as the points leader again. May have to get that updated here. Derek Paulson is in second place, but again not in attendance here tonight. Joshua Divers, Gordon Larson, Len McNeese, your top 5. But again, I'll say that with a grain of salt, 'cause I'm not sure if they're fully updated here or not. May have to get with the man behind the curtain here at VVR and see if everything is actually correctly updated, and that being Tim over here. But either way, I mean, this can be a tricky track, and I mean, we were just at the Tricky Triangle not too long ago at Pocono, but this can be just as difficult. And you see Chris Moreland trying to get around right now, put some qualifying laps in, and having a bit of trouble. We did see some of the typical names up at the top of the boards in practice, but it's one where you're going to have to be mindful of the tires. I know it seems like we talk about that every week, but obviously the flatter the track is, the more stress you're putting on those outside tires, and with it being as tight as this thing is, coming off of turn number 2 and turn number 4, you really got to work on getting that power down.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about letting the car and tires do a lot of the work to the corners. And these drivers, they want to finish the best they can, and maybe move their way up to the points. The season's starting to wind down here for VVR. I mean, they still got a little bit more time, as they got a couple break there for the national holiday there in the beginning of July. So things are starting to wrap up though, as far as races remaining here for VVR. So, but right now, Maxwell Caldwell showing he's got the speed, what it takes to get around here with a 31-0.
There's about halfway done with qualifying. Andrew Pileshi up there in second place right now as well, and track position is going to be key. You can definitely work on passes here and make passes. The line seems to be kind of right about in the middle of the corners, so it's going to give the option of guys kind of late braking and getting up a little bit higher in the corner, maybe kind of apexing and diamond and off the corner and coming down low to get a good run to set up a pass. You could send it down the inside and maybe just try and bully your way into that position and push that guy up the track just a little bit. But you really kind of want to be up there on that darker tarmac that you see right there. You can angle it down off there, and you see what's going to happen. Just a hard snap there for Len McNeese coming off the corner. So it's one where if you're looking for that extra little rotation, you can kind of use that to your advantage and dip those tires down below the darker tarmac. But it's going to be tough out here tonight as usual. 150 laps on tap to crown another winner here on the series.
150 laps of strong, hard racing, and I'm sure these drivers will be looking forward to tackling this track. Plenty of racing last week, and we covered that as well. So just it was 2 weeks ago now at the Glen. So I was there by myself, and they made it interesting, and they had to do some left and right turning in there. But tonight it is all about the lefts and how they can enter and exit the corners, and hopefully get them green flag pit stops in, and think about their pit strategy and what they want to do with the amount of tires that they have in the pits.
Before we get started here, just want to send a thank you out to the series sponsors, that being Gold Line Guardians, Forward Screen Printing, and Hilton Crafts and Designs. But about 20 seconds away from the guys getting the okay to come to the grid. And as Jimmy said, we are starting to get towards the back half of this regular season, and the season itself, it's starting to wind down, but in the same case, it still stretches out to September because these guys will enjoy a little bit of a break coming up here towards the end of July. They'll be off for about a month. So right now we got New Hampshire this week, Nashville next week, a couple weeks off until we hit July 11th is going to be Pocono. July 18th is going to be Indianapolis, and then, as I said, about a month off. August 22nd would be the next race at Homestead, and then finished off at Darlington, Atlanta, and the season finale at Iowa. It's definitely looming on the schedule for a lot of drivers out there. It's not the easiest track. It's certainly not an easy one to finish on, but we are finished with qualifying. So, Jimmy, why don't you give us a rundown?
We'll go ahead and get a rundown of where your drivers will be starting here tonight. And Dalton Kilroe taking the pole here tonight in at number 41. Alongside will be Maxwell Caldwell. Back from row number 2, Ray Courtney and Andrew Pileshi. Row number 3, Dustin Franklin and Brandon Mefford. Row number 4, Mike Hasty and Todd Merkel. Row number 5, John Garrett and Joshua Divers. Row number 6, Brandon Meir and Jordan Larson. Row number 7 be DJ Mitzel and Ty Marasco. Row number 8, Hemi and Ryan Allen. And then row number 9 will be Eric Blunt and Chris Moreland. And then obviously we need to finish up the rest of the field here tonight. But back there in row number 9 will be, row number 10 will be Billy Van Meter with Hilton Young, followed by Mike Rideout, Len McNeese, Tyler Hilton, Mike Taylor, Michael Pratt, Tim Williams, Brandon Paul, and Chris Schusler. So 29 drivers in attendance here tonight with VVR.
Yeah, last one. I'm not seeing the 29th one for some reason there on the screen, but a good sized field here, and it can be very tough to hold these good sized fields throughout a long season, such as VVR being 22 races long. It's very likely that a lot of series, kind of ebb and flow, and usually lose a good amount of drivers throughout the series. It just is what it is. So the fact that we're a little over halfway through the series here and still seeing about 30 drivers is definitely awesome for them, and it shows the product that they have out there on the track. But out there on the track are the cars right now as they are starting to roll, and we're going to be going green here very, very soon, as again 150 laps here on tap, about 30 drivers vying for that win and maybe a first win on the season. We'll see what's gonna shake out here, and hopefully we'll get some good green flag racing, because this thing can put on a very good show here at New Hampshire, but it can just as easily put on a bit of a rough one here if they're not ready for those flat corners and trying to make a pass cleanly. It can get very, very difficult. But it is going to be, again, on the front row, Dalton Kilroe, Maxwell Caldwell, But then Andrew Pellecci right there in third place, Ray Courtney in fourth. A lot of good heavy hitters up at the front, but all throughout the field, you can try and find your favorite driver. And if you do have one, make sure you put in the comments. We'll try and get him some airtime out here. But right now, Barney has got the airtime. He's got the green flag in his hands, and he is waving it. We are racing here at New Hampshire.
Where they go 2x2, heading down to turn number 1. And this is where they'll start sorting it out as they make their first lap here at New Hampshire.
Good start from the field as they head now down onto the backstretch. Dalton Kilrow going to take the lead. Maxwell Caldwell going to file in line in second. Ray Courtney, Dustin Franklin are going to be right there battling for third and fourth place, still side by side with Dustin Franklin on the inside. But it's still a little 2x2 all the way through the field, and it's one of those things where we've talked about it as well ad nauseum, where you're grouped up here together. You don't want to waste your tires. You don't want to, kind of spend that car too early, but it's the closest you're going to be to a lot of cars all at once. So, if you get a bad qualifying effort or you're set to the back for some reason, now's the time where you kind of need to make hay as quick as possible, because if this thing stretches out to a long green flag run, you're going to feel it at the end with those tires just getting a little angry, a little heated, and a little worn down. But good job from the crew out here, VVR, as we complete lap number 2, head off into 1 and 2. It is Kilrow, Maxwell, Franklin, Courtney, and Hasty, your top 5.
Yeah, so looking pretty good so far. Starting to single out. You see the John Garrett finally getting in line there, right there in front of the 2 of Todd Merkel, where now he is battling with Ty Marasco in that one Squishmallow machine, as he is trying to get around here and move up through the field and trying to get himself another great finish.
Obviously, the team of MFRD has certainly shown their skills throughout this entire season, and this just getting confirmation that Watkins Glen needs to be updated, and the points need to be updated. So we're still working off the points post Worldwide Technology Raceway, but I mean, we've seen again a lot of domination from the guys at the top of the boards. Dalton Kilrow out there in the lead right now. He was your points leader, at least. I'm sure he still is. Then you got Derek Paulson in second place, but not in the field here tonight, as we've got a first caution here. Looks like on the front stretch. I see the 00 collecting himself, that being Gordon Larson. Not sure what happened here, as looks like he had a hurt car already and trying to just nurse it back.
Yeah, getting into that water barrier there, coming off the corner. Probably just trying to catch it there, Carl.
Yeah, and you see right there, just no contact, no nothing right there. Maybe just get a little washy through the arrow there, but the back end stepping out, and man, that is not what you want to see right there, as you're headed right towards the water barriers, and clipping it with the back, and probably tore up that backside very, very much. And yeah, you see it right there, and just trying to limp back, and unfortunately keeps pointing them towards the field itself, and you see the field kind of scurrying off on the front stretch, and it looks like, yeah, possible contact there with the 71, and then right to the outside, and man, absolutely nowhere to go there. Trying to take a look and see who that was in the back. I'm not sure if that was
49.
Like 49 there. Or is that the 45? It might be the 45 of Tim Williams. And then right there, the 77, Michael Pratt getting involved in, well, it's, I mean, just major damage here for some of these cars early on. And double check and see another. They've kind of gone back and forth with having a fast pair, not having a fast pair. They do have one here tonight, and certainly going to be a few cars taking it right here early on lap number 7.
Yeah, and it's not what ideal for some of those drivers to take that super early. Obviously, wanting to keep it as long as possible. But you know, when you get there in the back and you're trying to slow down coming off the corner, and you know, just things are happening, and you're trying to decide whether to go high or low. It just, you know, you sometimes just make the wrong decision, or the car gets bounced out, and there's just nothing you can do. So some of the guys, I'm sure, will take that opportunity to get their car fixed. Not a big aerodynamic track here, Carl, but if they have any kind of steering damage or power issues, it could cause them to go laps down pretty early.
Well, that's really what the problem is you're not really worried about the drafting so much. It's more it's just having that downforce in the corners and making sure that car is handling correctly. Because if you can get around the corners, great, but you know you may be getting around the corners, sacrificing that right rear a little bit because the car is maybe turning a little bit too much, or maybe you're burning that right front because you're just trying to force that car through the corner. So it can be very rough out there for sure. But pace car lights are out. We're going to get this thing fired off one more time as they head on the backstretch right now. And it is going to be completion of lap number 8. Still a lot of racing here to go. Hopefully we can get it cleaned up. And I think that's the first of possibly many wrecks here with just kind of self-spins. It can happen very easily with these cars on this track. But there's a lot of good talent here in the field too, so I wouldn't put it past them to go on a nice little green flag run here. Not too many takers to the pits, just a lot of guys towards the back, chopping off on a little bit of fuel, and obviously the guys taking their repairs. But pace car is off, Kilrow is back on the loud pedal, and we're racing here again at New Hampshire.
Yeah, he's got to get that nice jump there along with his number 74 of Dustin Franklin. Not quite able to clear the number 95 of Maxwell Caldwell, but you know, the drivers up front, they know just once they can get a single follow, let's try to run away and break free from the rest of the pack. That's what they're kind of doing, and a lot of drivers, singling out pretty quickly. So, but you see right there the 81 of Andrew Pileshi trying to make a move on Mike Hasty, and he gets that done as they cross the start-finish line, followed by John Garrett's going to go ahead and take that advantage as well. So down to the inside, going too wide through turns 1 and 2.
Now keeping an eye on, or at least, not keeping an eye on that one car, as he is blinking a lot right now. Ty Marasco could certainly end up causing another caution here if he doesn't get the blinking under control, and especially through 3 and 4 there. You see the cars behind him just kind of diving around, not sure where exactly he is on the track, and right there, Mefford losing a few positions because he had to check up, not knowing where Marasco is, and he just keeps blinking at it. It seems like it's the same spots on the track each time around, but right there through 3 and 4, 1 and 2, that's not exactly when you want to be blinking out. Good save right there from I think it was Brandon Meir. But all in all, it's getting a little close there. Sorry, with the 6 Eric Blunt drifting up there towards Brandon Meir. But you see the cars just, that back end dancing a little bit coming off the corners for some of these cars. But Caldwell still chasing Kilrow at the front, who has got about a half a second lead right now. Dustin Franklin in third, Mike Hasty, Andrew Pileshi, and John Garrett are going to be your top 6. Ray Courtney, Todd Merkel, Ty Marasco, and Ryan Allen, your top 10.
And you can see as the cars travel through turns 3 and 4, most of the field is singling out there. You got one up there towards the high side trying to make things happen out there as well, or maybe just trying to just get around and make sure they don't get in trouble. But just go ahead and we'll go back there with Todd Merkel, and Ty Marasco ends up crashing. We'll see if we can figure out what happened there with Ty.
It was probably just a matter of time, like I said, and we'll take a look at what actually caused this and what happened here on the front stretch. Looks like maybe the 45 of Tim Williams involved as well, and of course it's going to be tough considering he was blinking in and out. So we can get a view from somebody else maybe.
I'm trying to, there it is.
All right, so it happened up a little bit earlier. Not sure when the one spun out and got involved. We have to slowly go through the field and see if we can see somebody who's seen the action here.
Yeah, trying to get a hold of where maybe he was at.
He was right around Merkel, I know that.
Yeah, so Joshua Divers should have seen something here, so we're going to go ahead and see if we can get what happened here.
It'd been back further, I believe, because this is already heading into turn 1.
There it is. From the 71, it was 71. You can see the one just sideways, and the calamity happening right there in front of Len McNeese as he's watching parts just go flying down the front stretch. You can see the 45 getting involved, the 71 as well. So blinking became the problem there for just maybe the tie just basically breaking loose coming off the corner. So you can see up there to the very right side of the screen, the 00 with some heavy front end damage on that machine. So tough break there for Gordon Larson. And some drivers coming down here in the pit entry here for this time, Carl, probably to get that, use that fast repair, or trying to let the crews just do as much damage control as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I just got to mention it with Time Rasko blinking quite a bit and ends up wrecking out. It looks like him and Gordon Larson may be out of the race, or at least looks like maybe Gordon Larson now back in pit lane, so he may not be out of it just yet. But we've got quite a few takers back towards the back of the field that came in and just kind of topped off right there. Doesn't look like anybody has taken tires, just some guys getting some repairs as well, but looks like we're already going to double this thing back up. It's pretty quick cautions here tonight at New Hampshire, as we are doubling back up. Dalton Kilrow, Maxwell Caldwell on the front row, Dustin Franklin, Mike Casey, and John Garrett can round out your top 5 here tonight, with Andrew Palesci up there, Ray Courtney, Todd Merkel, Joshua Divers, and Ryan Allen, your top 10. But it's all going to be in the hands and feet of Dalton Kilrow here on the restart. We've seen on the last one, Dustin Franklin tried to get up there alongside Caldwell and get a nose inside into turn number 1. Just wasn't able to do it. We'll see if he can do the same thing here again. But it's going to be on Kilrow, and he is on the loud pedal again. Racing here at New Hampshire, a good clearance there from the 41, the 74 trying to get to the inside again. Going to show a nose here into 1 and 2. Try and battle with Caldwell. It'll still be side by side coming off the corner. Big bobble there. And man, I think the 74 actually saved the 95 from going around there, as they kind of flattered each other coming off the corner. And I think the 95 might have seen his good racing so far go by the wayside very quickly, but the 74 kind of being in the right spot at the right time there, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's one heck of a save. Able to use the kind of shoulder of another car to kind of keep things going straight here. As it's not something I'm sure they wanted to do, as I'm trying to chase down that number 41 of Dalton Kilrow here tonight, as he looks like he has some great speed, but it is definitely early, as we're only on lap 18 of 150. So yeah, Carl, I think that was just the right time, just good timing, and a little bit of good luck there for that number 95 that time around.
Well, sometimes, Jimmy, we all need somebody to lean on, and that's exactly what he needed right there for sure. And we'll be under caution again. Big spin out there from Eric Blunt. Doesn't look like too much damage. We'll take a look back and see the repercussions of this one. And it looks like just a self-spin. Yep, and it's gonna happen. Luckily for him, he got it woed up before he got to the pit entry and got any kind of penalty, but he'll get it spun back around and rejoin the field. And I mean, you could say cautions breeding cautions, but it's really not the case. It's just a lot of self-spins right now. It's a lot of guys maybe just still trying to feel out the feel out the cars, where the grip point is and everything else. But while we're back here, I gotta say, number 98 right there, Mike Taylor in front of Eric Blunt. Man, after my own heart, I'm loving the paint scheme there. I'm loving the little big league chew.
Oh man, I haven't seen that stuff in the store in quite a while, but I sure as a kid had plenty of pouches, and it's nothing. There's nothing like putting the whole pouch in your mouth and blowing the biggest gigantic bubblegum bubble anyone could ever see. So yeah, that was some good stuff, and by far, I think you're right, Carl. One of my more favorite paints on the track in these next gen cars.
Absolutely. Just about every time I take my son to the hardware store, when we go out there, they have like 3 or 4 different kinds of packs, and he's always asked me. He's 7, so he hasn't had gum yet, but when he does, that's going to be his first gum. He's got to start with the best. Not like like me. I feel like I started with the what is it, the fruit, what
Fruit
is it now?
stripes.
Fruit stripes, yeah.
Yeah, the flavor lasted all about 20
Yeah,
seconds.
an explosion of flavor, and it's gone.
And it was gone. I think between that and the bubblegum that you used to get out of baseball cards,
Oh, yes.
packs,
Yep. Yeah, there's
old,
rock
dry
hard.
out rock hard, yeah, definitely flashback to
Absolutely.
childhood.
Oh, man. Then he had, what was he? Obviously, he had the juicy fruit. That was the big heavy hitter back in the day. But I'm trying to think of the other one. It was like black licorice flavor.
Oh, then I had that with black licorice, never my thing.
No, not at all. And it was rough. But yeah, either way, some good times, good memories. But yeah, between the big league chew, and then I always remember after the little league game, getting those little like baseball size. Or the little gumdrops that look like baseballs with the different sayings on, like home run, strikeout. That was a big hit too.
And the good thing my dad always kept quarters in his pocket.
Yep. Hopefully the big hits are going to end for these guys out here on lap number 22 under the third caution already on the night. And the first couple seen some cars really take some beating and banging. This one just a self-spin by the 6 of Eric Blunt and got it back going. He is back there in 25th currently. But it is Dalton Kilroy at the front. Dustin Franklin now is going to be the man in second as he was able to clear Maxwell Caldwell before that caution came out. So he'll be in second, Caldwell in third. Hasty, Paleshi going to round out your top 5. Then you got Courtney, Garrett, Ryan Allen, Todd Merkel, and Brandon Meir are going to be in your top 10. Joshua Divers just outside in 11th place. Then you got Brandon Mefford, Chris Moreland, Hilton Young, and Mike Rideout in your top 15. But again, we have a ton of time yet here, and those top 15, only one of them has come into the pit so far, and that is Brandon Meir on lap number 6, just topping off on fuel. So the fact that he's worked around a good 5 cars here that have yet to come in the pits, it kind of says a little bit about maybe the speed that 34 has got here tonight. So we'll keep an eye on that one for sure. But they're all going to be chasing Kilroy here again on the restart. He has got the control.
Yeah, it definitely has control. I'm just just early shout out to some of your people that are following some of the drivers out there. Ryan Allen up 8 spots already, up into 8P number 8, and then Tim Williams back here in P number 17 up 9 spots. Carl, so a few drivers starting to work their way through the field, trying to get up through there. And I know pit cycles some drivers are elected to take pit stops, but there's some of these drivers looking to get to the front, even through some of these minor cautions.
Looks like Ty Marasco has retired for the night. Gordon Larson still in the pits getting repaired, but we are back racing here at New Hampshire, and it took a little bit longer for Kilroy to clear the 74 of Franklin, but he does so, and Franklin just clears Caldwell going into turns 1 and 2, but Caldwell trying to get to the inside. He's maybe going to nudge him a little bit of a neck code right there, contact. And that's not what you like to see right there, as we've got caution on the backstretch, and it looks like it actually got cleared up pretty quickly. The 95 got around, but it looks like the 12 is still back there involved. That being Chris Moreland, we'll take a look back and see what happened. The 95 seemed to survive it pretty well, but the 38 getting in the back of the 12.
Everybody just checking up for the number 95 and making evasive maneuvers and getting caught up right there at a 12 and a 38. So 12 just going around, but they do keep it up on the wall. Rest of the field does seem to clear those 2 cars for this incident here, Carl. And just kind of a chain reaction of events with that 95 spinning around. I wanted to kind of go back and get that spin around here, as if I can find out exactly where it started. Let's see. Go back here. Maxwell. I'll just kind of get the oops. Of course, I'm gonna mess it up. Yeah, but definitely something that's going on. It was a chain reaction here. I'll go ahead and attempt this one more time. Here is trying to just see what happened with that number 95 Maxwell Caldwell right here is already spun around. And then right here, you just see that the wiggle there by the 74. Turned him around, able to do a 360 and keep it going. So actually kind of a good save there by 95. Sure, not what he wanted to do, and losing all those spots going to put him back just a little bit there. But these drivers are still trying to figure things out just a little bit and really trying to push them. And these cars, Carl, are a handful to try to save and get back going. And just for the 95 to basically do a 360 on the track, lose a few positions, just kind of gives you the awareness of the drivers that were around him, what was going on, and in the back it tried to continue and just ran out of luck there for the number 38 and 12.
Yeah, 38 really just no time to react there when the 12 kind of jumped on the brakes, or at least got off the gas. So unfortunate for both of them. I'm not gonna put anything out there. I mean, I'm not sure if the 74 was still trying to collect it, if it was anything intentional or not. But I would imagine that the 95 is not too happy with the situation there. So we'll see if they get around each other a little bit later in the race. And certainly, like me and Joe like to talk about on Wednesday nights there for our broadcast at CSRL, we love some storylines. Don't like the storylines that cause cautions on the speedway though. So hopefully these guys can get over it and get some good racing here and get some green flag laps in here, because it seems like we're pacing for quite a bit here at the start of this race. Only 27 laps in the books here as we cross the line. Should be getting the one to go from Marty, and the pace car driver this time should see the lights go out. It's going to be Dalton Kilrow again on the front row. Dustin Franklin going to start in second. Mike Casey now going to be in third, with Ray Courtney in fourth.
So Tim Williams continuing to move up to the field, now up 12 spots. Ryan Allen up there in P number 6, now up 10 spots from the start. So again, a couple drivers can keep your eye on as they're making their way through the field. Backwards, the rest of the field back here, the driver that we like to see make their way up, and you've seen the 77 kind of get involved there early on in an incident and having to maybe burn up their fast repair, but is back out on a track crawl, up 7 spots, up into P number 18. So I would not, be surprised if we see that 77 up towards the front during maybe one of these green flag pit stops.
Well, that's how I can tell it's still early in the race, Jimmy. The 77 is only up 8 spots right now. He's just outside the top 10. It's still plenty early, but we're back racing again here. Dalton Kilrow gets a fantastic jump there, and Dustin Franklin going to file into second place. On the inside there, the 72 of Mike Casey going to get in there, and now maybe make a move on the 74. Try to off the corner, not going to happen. He's going to file back into third, but he can't get up under that high line, because the blacked out there number 99 of Ray Courtney is right there and keeping him in tow, but it looks like he's going to slide now back into third. Ray Courtney into fourth. Andrew Palesci following the back there, and a little bit different paint scheme out there for Andrew Palesci. He's still got the smart food popcorn on there, but maybe a little bit of a new custom paint scheme there. We got the red one out there instead of the yellow one, but still doing a good job up here in the top 5.
Yeah, you start talking about him, he's getting a little loose coming,
exactly.
Out of turn number 2. But, he was able to have a great race last week with the same paint scheme. And Mir getting in that corner just a little bit hot there, having to check up just a little bit to kind of make sure that number 34 machine went ahead and made the turn, but it's going to push the 81 of Andrew Palesci back to P number 7. We also have some movement going on here in the back. As I just clicked on the O2 as he gets down. I didn't even say today. But Tyler Hilton going around as he looks like he's going to tow it into the track there. It didn't look like he had any extensive damage. And maybe a blink out. Down on the apron. Quite sure why the O2 is down that far, but not able to hold on to it. Gets spun around there, bringing out another caution here on lap number 31.
So again, still a good 120 laps left in this race, but Dalton Kilrow is I'm sure not minding all these cautions right now, as he's led every lap so far, having a good start on the race, good restarts here, and seeming to always clear the second place car by the start finish line. So getting plenty of work on his restarts here is Kilrow, but eventually you figure Dustin Franklin, who's been good when he was behind him and getting those starts and got himself into second place because of it. I had to do a little bit of battling on that one with Mike Casey, but one time or another, he's going to end up nailing the restart here with Kilrow, and may have a battle for the lead. But as it stands, Kilrow is at the top spot, and only car up there in the actually none in the top 10 now is Brandon Meir. Comes in for his second pit stop. He pit on lap 6. Now he's going to pit again. We'll see if anybody decides to take any kind of tires, as once again they only have a certain amount of tires that they can use for the entire race here, and for some reason it is behind my screen, so I cannot see how many sets they have here tonight. But it's an amount where you have to be strategic on when you take the tires. You can't just go in there and willy-nilly take them every single time you come in. And very few cars have taken tires here tonight, but it looks like Mir may be one of the first guys to go ahead and take a set of tires. Him, Chris Moreland, back there on the last pit stop, looks like he either may have taken tires or maybe just still repairing the car. But our top 10 right now, and actually top 11, have yet to touch pit lane one time.
Yeah, so I mean, the longer that they keep having these kind of cautions come out, pit strategies are starting to kind of come into play when they get tires. And you got to think about if they can get this thing going green and these first top 10 go in, you're looking at drivers like Brandon Meir that have the fresh tires, fresh tank of gas, being able to stay out an extra 20 plus laps under green, and it's going to put them out front, and anything can happen. Once these front drivers decide to pit, if a caution were to come out and Meir's out front and they're a lap down because of the size of the track, you find yourself in a situation of leading or even possible winning the race because of the pit strategy call here on lap 34. So plenty of racing remaining here at New Hampshire, and still Dalton Kilrow out front with Dustin Franklin. Seeing the great restarts happening. Just a lot of that self-control and patience of getting on the throttle, trying to get these cars around here. It's not easy, Carl. And I know everybody has a wide range of equipment when it comes to driving sim racing, and the gas pedal is probably the one that it gets overlooked the most, and it's all on basically position where how much throttle to give. And they do have things out there these days where you can add like tire slip and stuff like that out there with the haptics from like Sim Magic, or maybe somebody's driving the new SimiCube active pedal, which is supposed to be amazing. I don't have the extra cash flow to pull those onto my rig as of yet, but looking forward to maybe one day shooting for high goals, and not having to take out a second mortgage. But they're looking good here so far, looking to get back here under green. Looks like we might be starting single file.
We are indeed. It looks like maybe to try and control this race a little bit more, we're going to be starting single file. And once you do that once, you are locked into that the rest of the race. So this is what we're going to see the rest of the race now on the restart. Single file racing here, and it is Kilrow out there in the lead. Obviously an easy start for him on the front of the line here. Dustin Franklin second, Mike Hasty, Ray Courtney going to be your top fours. Courtney gets a good run off the corner, not good enough to get to the outside, but he is certainly pressuring at the back of Mike Hasty right now.
Yeah, so a little bit of pressure here, and it's, Carl, that's another thing that's going to play into, some of those pit strategies. You go single file, and now you just made the line twice as long, so you can see how far back, that last driver is on the field. They're still on the back. They're still across the start finish line now as they're exiting turn number 2. So, that's going to come into play here. And getting loose there. Maxwell Caldwell trying to make up some of those positions that he lost to get back up front, so he can battle with Dalton Kilrow. So he's going to have to just take his time and be patient. But like I said, starting a single file is going to double things up, as the farther and farther they get back.
Yeah, the 74 there, Dustin Franklin got extremely loose, and it looks like we got some major damage there on the 45 of Tim Williams.
Yeah, go ahead. Tim Williams down there on that apron, not quite sure why, coming back up there. Oh, he's got damage on the front of that car.
Well, now he's got a little bit more as comes in the pits. Now the 34 though in the pits again. Brandon Muir in the pits again. So not sure what is going on here with 34 coming in the pits. He put him to that last caution, but either way he's back in the pits and looks like maybe just coming back out again. But Kilrow loving this single file restart, and the little bit of a slip up there from Dustin Franklin gives him a very sizable 2.25 second lead already here on lap number 39. Mike Hasty in second, Dustin Franklin in third. John Garrett now up into fourth place as he started back there in ninth. Big bobble there from Ray Courtney in fifth place. Maxwell Caldwell, Andrew Palesci, Ryan Allen, Todd Merkel, Joshua Divers rounding out your top 10, but they're all chasing that 41.
Yeah, 41 able to check in and clean out nobody to kind of give them any kind of pressure at the moment. As the 95 is still working their way back up to the field, starting back a little bit farther, so it has a little more work to do on that from that restart. With things happening down there on the entry of pit road, they're able to keep this thing green here. If that car would have came out on the track, it would have made things just a little bit different. But right now, looking at Maxwell Caldwell there and Pete number 6 heading back forward up to the field. And right now, as far as biggest movers of the race right now, you have Ryan Allen up 87. He is the 87. He is up 8 spots, sitting in P number 8. And then Michael Pratt currently up to P number 15, up 10 spots from the start tonight. So still working that number 77, working his magic, trying to come up through the field, trying to get to the front. I think it's the 77 of Michael Pratt. We've talked to him a couple times as he enjoys this kind of racing, and whatever happens, and he's just out there to have a good time, and coming to the field is just part of his evening.
3-second lead now for Dalton Kilrow as he's loving every minute of this green flag run with the rest of the field chasing him right now. Battle for 5th place right now as Caldwell goes to the inside, and not sure if there was contact there. I looked away for a brief second on Ray Courtney there. He's going to fall back to 10th place. Yeah, with a big bubble out of turn number 2.
Yeah, he just looked like he just got a little bit loose there underneath the zone power. He's bringing the rear end around. It's going to slow up. It's going to lose a bunch of spots there. So then we're trying to get them tires back under control. It's probably going to take about 2 to 3 laps to kind of cool them down, and so there's not a lot of wear and tear there on the tires. We didn't talk about tires yet tonight, and just kind of bringing up the weather there. You see that the track is at 111 degrees, so not a super hot track, Carl, but enough that once these tires warm up, it takes a little bit to get them cooled down.
Yeah, that's plenty hot for me. I mean, I know. Yeah, the guys over at Cora joke about some hot tracks. I mean, nothing was as hot as the Watkins Glen 6-hour race, though. I mean, the iRacing Watkins Glen 6-hour race for us there, and the road cars ended up touching up to 131 degrees, and that's baking, and that's not. I mean, we're in the Finger Lakes region of New York, damn near Canada. Don't get 130 degrees on a track. So, I mean, I get, you want to talk about global warming, I mean, absolutely, but I'll tell you what, global warming on those rear tires for Ray Courtney right now, he cannot get that car back under control. It is dancing on him seemingly in every corner, really having to feather that throttle coming out of every single corner, and looks like he finally gets out of the corner without getting loose, but he's going to have to do that for the next, like you said, 2-3 laps at least, just to get those tires back to a reasonable temperature.
Yeah, unfortunately there for Ray Courtney, he might lose another position or two as he tries to get them tires back under control. But right there, you can see finally getting the car to kind of be settled there, and pride now, just realizing like, dang, I can't do anything with it. The tires, as much as you want to go faster, and maybe you did a faster lap prior to, but you gotta let them tires cool down, and that's very hard as a driver, especially a sim driver, because you really don't know what's going on with the tires except the feel, how the car feels. So with the 99 changing lanes a little bit, the way he's been running, I think he's getting them tires back down to a reasonable temperature, and you should start seeing him hopefully start moving forward, as he had a pretty fast race car here tonight.
Well, the M&Ms, the Skittles, whatever you want to call them, are all over the track at this point. And the 41 now crossing the start-finish line is very close to getting to the back of the pack here with Chris Schuessler, the first lap car that he's going to encounter. But you see him right there, just close to the back of the pack, and he's going to have some lap traffic coming up here pretty soon, but he's got plenty of time to work with. 4.7 seconds into the lead right now is Dalton Kilroe, certainly the class of the field here tonight as we get close to a third of the way complete.
Yeah, we're going to that third of the way complete, and now they've been under green for a little while. It's starting to, I'm sure some of these drivers that have not pit are starting to think about when they want to come in, and and hopefully when they do come in, it stays green so they don't lose much time out there, as some of the drivers out there have made late pit stops. Like we said, we're going to see whether those drivers go a lap down or not. I know the 41 definitely has speed tonight. He's been a dominant car, from the get-go, starting on the pole here tonight and working his way around the field right now. So it doesn't look like too much competition, as some of his early competitors have fallen back to the field, and they need to make their way through the field. And speaking about his competitors, Maxwell Caldwell up to now P number 4, so I'm sure he is looking to hopefully have that caution and be able to close things up a little like on the easy way. But right now these drivers are doing a great job keeping things clean and green. Right now a lot of single file back and forth. I'm not seeing too many battles back here, except for that number 77 of Michael Pratt now taking the position away from Chris Moreland for P number 14.
Yeah, it took some time, but we are finally down under less than 100 laps to go, 99 laps to go here at New Hampshire. And Kilroe leads the way, Hasty in second, up 5 spots from starting in 7th. Dustin Franklin up a couple spots, starting in 5th. He's in 3rd now. Maxwell Caldwell started on the outside of the pole before he and Franklin got into a little bit of a tussle and found himself back there in 10th place, but worked his way now back up to 4th. Alessi has been up there in the top 5 pretty much this entire race and hanging on to 5th place currently right now. Ryan Allen is up 10 positions, one of the biggest movers of the race, starting back in 16th. He's up to 6th. Todd Merkel and John Garrett, Joshua Divers, all up 1 spot from their starting spot, and then Billy Van Meter up 9 spots, starting 19th. He's up to the top 10.
Yeah, you see Joshua Divers there having a little bit of issue coming off turn number 2, I believe it was. He got a little sideways, losing a position there to John Garrett. John Garrett now moving up to back up in P number 8. In front of John Garrett there, you see Todd Merkel up in P number 7, and then obviously Ryan Allen up 10 spots in front of him. 10 spots riding along here. We'll hop on top of Ryan Allen, see what he's seeing out there, and you can see the drivers fighting that front end, trying to keep it down without getting into that wall. He's got a slow car there. The 61 of Chris Schuessler. So Chris Schuessler, knowing that he's a little bit slower here tonight, staying out of the way of these drivers, keeping things clean here tonight as we complete lap number 54. Working on lap 55 with Dalton Kilroe out front.
Let's take a shout out to everyone out there watching. We've got Barry out there as usual. Kevin Foster, the 2-time champion in the core series that we have over there broadcasted. We got Tim Lee, the man behind the curtains here, watching from Vegas. Not sure if I'm happy for him or just would rather see him on the track, but I wish I was the one out there.
At least he's watching and not at the table, right?
I mean, maybe he's doing both.
Maybe a little of both. Maybe he's using the cautions as when to take a shot.
Hopefully he's not talking about one car hitting another, and he hits when he has a 20 at the blackjack table. But Either way, good to see all the people out there watching the broadcast out here tonight. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, and get you in touch with everything this year and has to offer, and helps these guys get some a little more exposure here for VVRs. They got a really good product here at the Virtual Velocity Racing 2024 Cup Car Series. We'd love to see even more drivers out here this season, next season, whatever it may be. And if you're looking to get in here, make sure you get in touch with me, get in touch with Jimmy, or get in touch with Tim Lee or any of the other drivers, and get you in this series. A lot of good racing, a lot of good drivers. I know it's been a little bit of caution here in the first maybe 20, 30 laps, but seems to have, knock on wood, have settled down here just a little bit as, okay, I was going to say, I thought I seen a car get sideways just coming down in the pit road right there. As we are certainly in the midst of pit stops right now, and only the top 7 have yet to come in the pits, and actually Ray Courtney as well in 9th place has yet to come in. So we are about to see a flurry, I think, of the top cars coming into the pits as the 98 Big League Chew just about pushing the 41 around the corner there.
Yeah, so the times of ours just started to drop off from the get-go. They're down about a second and a half from speed. And you seen the entry there from Dustin Franklin pitting in early, going a lap down. So, it's going to happen to all these drivers. And, I talked about it early. The drivers that have not pit, they decided to stay out through all the early cautions, are now at kind of that weird place. They have to come in shortly. They're going to have to take fuel and tires and get back out there, but always a chance and risk of somebody that's pitted, in that lap 25, 30 area that's gonna, stay out there even longer and hope for that caution and keep these drivers like Dalton Kilroe and Dustin Franklin kind of pinned back a lap down, where they'll have to battle their way back and hope for another caution if something were to happen. So don't know what's happened, but definitely things are starting to warm up there on pit lane. As now John Garrett is down in the pits. You can see the right side of that car going up in the air, obviously taking fuel, and then he's going to go. You should see the left side. Yeah, left side going up right now. So 4-tire stop and fresh fuel for all these drivers. Garrett is now gone and away, so back out in the track he heads, and they'll continue to run. So we have a crash here by Hilton Young, but no caution out. Oh, as it now flies. So maybe a bone thrown there for Dalton Kilroe. Now we're going to be able to get fresh fuel and tires, I'm sure, this time by. We'll go ahead and take a look to see what happened with Hilton Young and at number 38. They just self-spin right there in front of the 74 that was looking to get their lap back.
They kind of parked it right between the tire barriers. There's a little break in the tire barriers, but you see he's got to back up on the track, and that's never a good thing to do. And not sure what the idea was there to try and get it back going, but he then heads to the part of the road course there to turn it back around. But that little bit of a reverse back onto the track is what brought out our caution here, and certainly very nicely for the top 6, or actually 7 drivers that have yet to come in the pits for the entire night here tonight. They will now come in, and you should see probably at least the top 10 come in. As really going to look all the way back to Dustin Franklin back there in 18th for the first car that has come into the pits around, he came in on lap number 55, but he's a lap down, so everybody on that lead lap, I would assume, is going to come into the pits. Mike Rideout looks like he's going to stay out at least for one lap here, maybe just trying to lead a lap here. And Emi Gherardini is going to stay out as well. He last pit on lap number 32, so he's got a little bit more time that he can run out there. You see these guys making it all the way to lap 63, almost a halfway before they had to come in, and they get the luck of the draw and get the caution. And it's one of those things to me. We always talk about, how do you get around somebody that you've been following for so long? You can try and go for the short pit and get in there and get out there with some fresh tires and really make up a ton of time. But this is the downfall. You come in just one lap too early, and it could spell disaster. And a lot of guys that are one lap down, you see them staying out right now. They're going to get the wave around. They're going to be back on the lead lap, but now you're even more at a disadvantage. I mean, unless you're the lucky dog, you're going to be back there, back on the lead lap, but at the back of the field, and really having to work your way back through with some older tires compared to everyone that just came in.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult, and they're just gonna have to, hopefully, the cautions will kind of fall their way again. So right now you got Maxwell Caldwell that was pressuring Dalton Kilrow early, now sitting on the back bumper of that number 41 as things are kind of filtering out here. You got a lot of cars out in front of Hemi Gardini. Getting a few laps led here at New Hampshire. So keeping that 71 Jiffy Pop machine kind of going, but definitely some of those cars at a big disadvantage. You've seen the number 66 come in and the 74. So a lot of a strategy is going to have to be rethought back out again, as that caution did fly. Like I said, this was a big gift for that number 41 of Dalton Kilrow, along with the others that have not quite hit yet. But almost a curse there for some of the drivers that decided to try to short pit that number 41.
Well, Jimmy, we've had Budweiser versus Miller Lite. We've had Coke versus Pepsi. Do we have an unwritten rivalry here? We got Jiffy Pop and Smart Food both in the top 5.
I never thought of it that way, but good way to put it. Getting popcorn machines out there and snack, crackle, pop. I mean, at least iRacing's not doing imaginary explosions off the walls like we've seen in the past, especially with the 87 cars that we experienced firsthand.
Yeah.
They were horrible.
They absolutely blew up off the corners, but drivers are gonna group it back up here. Looks like we should be going green this time by, unless they extend it to allow these guys to catch back up. Now it looks like the pace car going to make that left-hand turn, single file on the restart here, and Hemi Gardini is going to Jiffy Pop that floorboard right now, pushing that pedal as far down as he can. He did pit on lap number 32, but now everybody that is right behind him has got 30 lap newer tires. He sends it into turn number 1, trying his best to hold on that lead as long as he can, but already Kilrow has got to run, and he is going to send it to the inside. I'm sure it's going to be a train here coming on the inside of Hemi Gardini, and right there, side by side, there's your picture, Smart Food v Jiffy Pop, and it is Smart Food for the time being. But Hemi playing the long game here, and maybe hoping for another quick caution here to get him in there and get some fresh tires and be a little bit better than everybody else. So we'll see how everything plays out. But as it stands, Kilrow back on the lead, Maxwell Caldwell back out in second place.
And Maxwell Caldwell making his presence known back at the front, but somebody we haven't talked about much, and up 11 spots currently, number 23 of Billy Van Meter, doing a fantastic job. She's currently sitting in P, and number 8 following Todd Merkel around on number 2. So great job there for Billy, just putting that number 23 machine up towards the front here tonight so far. So far so good for that Ford Mustang.
Oh, and time has run out there on the Jiffy Pop machine. He does get the caution probably that he was looking for, but unfortunately he's involved in it as he gets spun around there in turns 1 and 2. We'll take a look at it one more time here. And it looks like 57 of Divers right behind him. You see it right away. The 71 getting a little bit loose and trying to save it through 1 and 2, and Divers just gives him a little bit of a nudge right there. And, just pops that back end right out. Doesn't look like anybody got into any kind of contact with the 71 other than the 57 when he initially made the contact. So good driving by all the drivers behind him here, and it'll be kind of a clean caution right now. But I'm sure Gardini probably isn't too upset here, as he's going to come into the pits and get some fresh tires in there. But Jimmy, I can tell we're close to the halfway point, as Michael Pratt is now inside the top 10.
Yeah, Michael Pratt continuing to move that number 77 machine up forward, now currently up in the 9th spot, 16 positions from where they started. And, obviously Hemi's going to come down and get some fresh tires and top that thing off, but it could give them the benefit or the edge they need towards the end of the race. Whether it's just a shorter stop or being able to stay out there just a little bit longer than the drivers that pit on just a few laps earlier. So we'll see how that all plays out for Hemi. and a few of the other drivers that are coming into the pits now. Like I said, a lot of strategy kind of go into this. Races that have a lot more cautions. Sometimes it's not all about who's the fastest. It could be, your fuel, especially with this many laps still remaining, still 80 laps to go here tonight at New Hampshire, and these drivers have had their fulfillment of why I personally do not like shorter tracks, and especially flat ones.
Hopefully, Brandon Muir is not paying his crew by the pit stop, because he has been in the pits, it seems like, every chance he can get, and even sometimes under green. He went down one lap earlier, and yeah, hell, why not come in one more time, as he is back on the lead lap towards the back half of the top 20 right now, but he's going to come in again, and it's kind of crazy. It seems like anytime there's a chance to pit, we see that 34 coming in for this race, but hell, I mean, like I said, he's on the lead lap. He's at the back of the field right now, but maybe topping off here, he can get, every driver's hill is going to need to make one more pit stop, as we've seen. Even some of the guys that stayed out this entire time in the beginning were coming in around, lap 60, 61 before we had the caution. So I don't think anybody is lasting 80 laps here to the end, fuel saving or not, but it is Dalton Kilrow back out at the front, Maxwell Caldwell in second, Andrew Pilecki in third, Mike Casey, Todd Merkel, your top five. Then you got Divers, Courtney, Pratt, Mitzel, and Medford are going to be your top 10. Moreland, Rideout, Blunt, Franklin, and Allen are going to be in your top 15. And then Garrett, Taylor, Billy Van Meter, McNeese, and Garradini are going to round out the top 20.
Yeah, so a few drivers still trapped a little, a lap down. They're behind the lead cars there. Got Chris Schuessler, Hilton Young, Douglas Johnson, Gordon Larson, Tim Williams, and obviously Ty Marasco not in attendance right now. Looks like our 29th car, Brandon Paul, not on the track here tonight. So I don't know if possibly they are the race control, and that could be the case. So, I did it last night to just kind of have it. I've been doing some officials, or at least official practices, and you just kind of have it just register and where you when you were broadcasting, essentially, so we don't put our car on the track. We just to get in the session, we watch. So right now, but the pace car is off. Dalton Kilrow looking to get things started here. Again, we're gonna ride on board here with Tom Merkel back in P number 5 is Barney waves the green flag.
Just listen to these cars roar up to speed, and how much they need to just wait. And Jimmy, you said it before, you haven't said it too much tonight here, but you want to talk about rolling through the corner. There's a lot of rolling through the corner here at New Hampshire, and then just a lot of slowly rolling that throttle back on, coming off to keep that thing under control. Seen a lot of cars have some trouble with it here tonight, and it's so easy to just want to grab that throttle a little bit early in these corners, but you have to be patient.
Yeah, you can see them, they're lifting right about the 2 boards, going into each and every corner, trying to make sure they're getting that car rotated around, maybe a little bit of trail braking even, and as soon as they get to that apex, leaving the corners, they're rolling on that throttle. It's just who can do it the best, the most consistent, to put some serious lap times in. And right now it was a 41, but right now he's got his hands full with Maxwell Caldwell back up here on that back bumper of the 41. Doesn't want to let him go, and is going to try to give him a run for their money tonight. Obviously, Andrew Pilecki, we've seen him do very well on a lot of races here so far since he started attending. And back there in P number 3, but just falling back just a little bit. Maybe don't have quite the edge, or maybe just a little bit of tire saving as they're trying to stretch things out here so they can stay up front. But so far so good. It looks like single file pretty much all the way back. We'll go back here with Michael Pratt, but right behind Michael Pratt, go back to his gearbox, and he's got a gaggle of drivers back there fighting for position. Back there, that's 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th, and maybe even 16th back there, looking to get around this track and taking them too wide. Just fighting every tooth and nail, or regardless if it's the first lap, last lap, We're in the middle of the race right now, Carl, as we just completed lap number 75. So, yeah, a lot of good racing still remaining here tonight, and you can see these drivers back here just having a good old time fighting each other.
Yeah, you were looking at the top 5, and I'm looking at the SDK overlays here, and you're seeing all kinds of red at the back half of the top 10, top 15, and you could throw a blanket over about 7 or 8 cars here from 10th to 17th, as they are all grouped together and all doing some battling, and some guys on some fresher tires, some guys waiting to pit here a little bit, but we are past the halfway point. It took us, again, a little bit of time here tonight, a little bit of a rough racing. We said, you know, New Hampshire usually goes one of two ways. It's either puts on a really good race, has a little bit of bump in there coming off the corner, or it can get a little bit slippery, and it seems like it's a little bit more slippery here tonight. And it's, you know, we talked about rolling through the corners, and it's not as easy as just letting off the gas, get on the brake, and fully being off that gas through the corners. Some cars, and it seems like here tonight, at least running along there with Todd Merkel, some cars actually, you know, want you to have a little bit of throttle in them just to keep that car kind of planted, keep that car settled down. They don't like to rotate around as much when you're completely off the gas. So maybe that's what these guys are still kind of working out the kinks and trying to figure this thing out, as the 87 there goes to the inside for 15th place. That is Ryan Allen making a pass on Mike Rideout, as we're looking at a big move there by Chris Moreland. A good save from the Miller Genuine Draft number 12 right there. Keeps it going and keeps it straight, but that was an old poop moment for sure.
Yeah, nothing like trying to catch a slide, and you know, we talked about, you know, trying to put a little bit of gas to the corner, and it's all just about how much pressure and how much they can get on that throttle, so they don't have too much oversteer going through the corner and being able to steer around. So it's like I said, it's a fine line with oval racing, especially the amount of time and patience that they need to drive through these corners.
70 laps now remain, and getting close to the point where these drivers should be able to come in and make it all the way to the end. But I mean, again, it's a gamble coming in early. Even if you're within your window, you're going to go a lap down, and the way we've seen the cautions kind of flying here tonight, I would think these guys are going to want to try and drive it out as far as they can before they come into the pits. But Andrew Pilecki now up into third as he's made his way around Mike Hasty. He is in fourth, Todd Merkel in fifth. But all of them are chasing the 95 Maxwell Caldwell in second, and now a 2.5 second lead for Dalton Kilrow.
And Dalton Kilrow having this track figured out, and you know, no contest at the moment, but you know, obviously still plenty of laps remaining, and you know, sometimes it gets frustrating as a leader. You know, you get out there with a lead like this, and then you know, the caution does fly, and you know, now you have everybody back in your bumper again trying to pressure you into make a mistake. And right now, the Dalton Kilrow can just take his time and just continue to do laps here until he catches up to the back of the field. So got about a straightaway away in order to catch up back to the back end of the 61 of Chris Schuessler back there in P number 23. So you know, any of these drivers that might be a lap down, obviously looking for maybe another caution, give them a chance to get back up there on that lead lap. But yeah, all Dalton Kilrow, followed by Maxwell Caldwell, Andrew Pilecki, Mike Hasty, Ray Courtney for your top 5.
I'm not sure if we've seen on that last lap out of turn number 2 if that 41 got in the wall or not, but there is a big wreck on the front stretch, and that's going to bring out, it should bring out another caution here, as the 83 is slow, and I mean, I don't know how that is not a caution on the front stretch. There we go. Now it is indeed a caution. The 83 is going to have to tow back into the pits. But yeah, that was a big moment right there. I know Brandon Meffer was involved. Trying to see who the other one was. It's the all black car right in front that already was loose.
Is it Mitchell? Yeah, I think it's Smith.
Yeah, very well could have
Mitchell.
been. Yep, and yeah, DJ Mitchell. Yeah, they're getting sideways, coming out of the corner, and you see him trying to save it, trying to keep it off of the racing line. But I mean, I'd almost I'd like to see it on board from the 83, but I almost don't want to because it's staring death right in the face. Is the 83, and looks like Medford obviously did have to tow back into pit lane. Not sure if he's got a fast repair or not, but I mean, coming off the corner already, not what you want to see. You see the smoke on the left-hand side, and you see a nice clean track, and then it's gone. And that 4 is directly in front and absolutely nowhere to go, but directly into the side of that Ford, and sends Mitzel for a bit of a ride there, and his front bumper for a ride as well as it falls off of the 83. Hard impact right there, going to bring us under a caution. It's going to be very close, Jimmy, to making it here on fuel. Not that many guys came in the pits. Looks like only maybe 7 or 8 guys here in the pits at best, and some of them are the guys taking some repairs. So maybe 5 or 6 here could be in the right spot. If this thing were to go green the rest of the way, maybe they could stretch this thing out in the fuel and really pull a blinder on everybody else out here.
Yeah, and that would fall on the hands of some of these drivers coming in there at lap to 85, starting with Ray Courtney sitting in P number 15. Seen Billy Van Meter having a decent run there. Obviously, he's in P16. And Tyler Hilton and Michael Pratt. So a lot of drivers, I think, in a good spot, along with Mike Rideout and Henry Gardini. So DJ Mitzel as well coming in. So it's just a right spot, right time, and if this thing can go green the rest of the way. A lot of times, Carl, when you get this far, this far of the race, some of the drivers have had their issues, so they're slow. There's no more contention. They might park it and maybe not come back out on the track. So it's just it's that part of the race where you're like, all right, I've had enough. If they've been struggling for the evening, so. Tonight it's going to boil down to whether they can, if a caution comes out, Kilroe and Maxwell, Caldwell, along with Andrew, could see their, possible, whether, looking good for a win here tonight or good straight finishes in kind of jeopardy.
Well, we talked about Tim Lee being out there in Vegas, but some of these guys are certainly going to be gambling, and from Ray Courtney on back, so Ray Courtney, Bill Van Meter, Tyler Hilton, Michael Pratt, Mike Rideout, Hemi Gherardini, and DJ Mitzel are the ones that came into the pits. Looks like Gherardini maybe going to be coming back into the pits one more time here, but they're the ones that came into the pits here topped off on fuel. Going to be very, very close and very interesting to see if they can make it to the end. I mean, 65 laps for them to make it to the end, and we've seen these guys making it to 60-some, but that was under a lot of caution, so we don't know exactly how far they can make it under green, but I'm sure these guys are going to be looking to try and stretch this out as much as possible, and maybe not see them being the fastest cars on the track here on this restart, going to try and save as much fuel as possible. But if we were to go green, and if they can save enough fuel, they don't need to worry about making passes on the track, because they're just going to pass them once they come into the pit lane. But it looks like we're going to be double filing back up, so maybe a call from the admins here, because again, iRacing won't let you change it back unless they change their settings. But pace car is off. We're double filed up. It is Dalton Kilroe on the front row with Maxwell Caldwell, and Kilroe already on the loud pedal, racing here again in New Hampshire. It looks like Pileshi going to try and pull alongside for second, but going to have to fall back in line behind Caldwell.
That's going to change things up again with everybody being able to start too wide. You see out front already Kilroe trying to distance himself from the rest of the field, along with the top tier. You see, Casey's going to go for Sec checks it out.
What a save by the 72 of Mike Hasty. I mean, Jimmy, one way or another, we got to see that again. He got sent and he slid from the entry of turn number 3 all the way until about midway at turn number 4. Did not touch a car, did not touch the wall. That is clean by Hasty, and you see already right there in the 74 as well. Dustin Franklin going around the outside, somehow staying off of the 72. What a ridiculous save by Mike Hasty. I'm not sure if there was contact between him and I'm not sure if it was Pileshi or Franklin. We'll have to go back and take a look if we can. But wow, what a could have been a turn of events right there involving several cars. Actually, no, it was the 74 of Dustin Franklin that actually got into him heading into the corner, and you see maybe 72 breaking a little bit earlier than the 74 expected. But, I mean, what a ride right here. And, I mean, if you're Andrew Paleschi's spotter, I'm not sure what you would say there coming into the corner.
Wrong side, clear. Yeah, definitely.
That's about it. But I mean, what a save there by the 72 as we get you back live here, and you see he's still kind of licking his wounds back here in 9th position right now, and probably still trying to cool those tires down that are nuclear at this point. And I mean, I know iRacing doesn't have flat spots on there, but I'm sure he slid so far that he's probably feeling flat spots on there.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to catch their breath, bring their heart rate back down. That was some intense driving. Not only the 72, but the rest of the field, as they've seen what was happening in front of him. And, he's going to have to take some time to work his way up, as he was having a great run up there up front. But so he definitely has his work cut out for him here tonight with the remaining laps as well. 93 of 150. Dalton Kilroe out front over Maxwell Caldwell by a little over a second now. Andrew Paleschi closely to the follow, then Joshua Divers. We haven't talked about the number 57 much, but up there showing his strength. John Garrett sitting there in P at number 5. And outside him, or right behind him, his teammate of Dustin Franklin. So finally getting that 74 back up towards the front. It's took him a while, but with that double file start and that slide there by the number 72 of Mike Hasties, definitely put him back in a position to be up there a little bit closer to where he started.
Well, it's the guy that Mike Hasty is battling right now that has been intriguing me, and big impact there, taking out the teammates as Garrett loses it coming out of turn number 4, collects his teammate there of Dustin Franklin. We'll get back to what I was about to say here as he's picked up some more spots, but Brendan Muir now up to 6th place, having all those pit stops. But you see big wiggle there by the 66 and tries to correct it, but gets into the wall, gets into the 74. Maybe a little bit of contact right there with the the 72 as well. But either way, hard impact there for the 66. He's going to have to bring that thing back in and get some repairs, maybe even a fast repair if he still has it. But back under caution here as we get close to lap number 100. And some more cars having to lick their wounds after that one. And now we are definitely within the go range to make it on fuel. And I would not be surprised if we've seen a good handful of cars come in right now, take those tires, take that fuel, and try and just run this thing out to the end.
Yeah, and you can see the major right front damage there at number 66. I have a heck of a time making that left-hand turn as the left tire isn't turning very much, and the right tire trying to do all the work as he's slowing it down, trying to bring it back home. Hopefully the 66 that does have that fast repair. You do see a lot of people down in the pits here, but you talked about being able to make the way the rest of the way here. So back there, Brandon Muir, Dustin Franklin, Mike Hasties, Eric Blount, DJ Mitchell, Len McNeese, Tyler Hilton, Michael Pratt, Billy Van Meter, making sure that they have enough fuel and tire for the rest of the race there. But you see a few people still staying out. Dalton Kilroe obviously being the quickest car of the evening so far, but Maxwell Caldwell staying out there as well, followed by Andrew Paleschi and Joshua Divers. Ryan Allen now up to P number 5, having a great run there by the 87. He came in at lap 57, and then Todd Merkel staying out as well. But then you got Ray Courtney back there in P number 7 on them fresh tires, and I think it's going to make a difference now. I don't know if it's going to make enough of a difference to keep up with Dalton Kilroe, but we're going to have to find out if 20 laps is going to be enough of an advantage for some of these drivers. And obviously with the cautions, the fuel, I don't know if these front drivers can make it the rest of the way. I guess if there's enough cautions and they might be able to, Carl.
These front guys pit back on lap number 62, and we've seen, even with all those cautions in the beginning, that's about the time that they were making it to is lap 62. Ray Courtney pit on lap number 85, going to be close, and with some of these caution laps, may be able to stretch that thing out 65 laps. only taking fuel on that last pit stop, so he's got the same tires that everybody else has up at the front here. It's just going to be by sheer speed to try and get through the field. But you have to look back not too far to the guys back in there in 10th on back, with Tyler Hilton in 10th place, Mike Casey, Eric Blunt, and so on, that came in here topped off on lap number 96. Only about half of them taking tires, with Brandon Muir, Dustin Franklin, DJ Mitchell taking tires here on this pit stop, and I think some guys trying to save an extra set in there just in case we get another caution, maybe 20-30 laps to go. If we get one more caution, then I'm sure we'll see a lot of guys coming in for tires. But I'd like this call of at least coming in here. You're at the back half of the top 10, maybe just out of the top 10, but you're good to go on fuel if this thing runs out. I mean, you'd love to have those fresh tires, but I don't mind them saving those tires and keeping them in the pits, because your focus right now is just going to be green, green, green. Hopefully this thing stays green and you'll be right in the catbird seat.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being in a catbird seat, especially if you know you're not the fastest. And sometimes, we talk about is that pit strategy. That's the luck part about it. That's the part. Why people go to Vegas, they test their luck. So, but either way, the 41 staying out along with the drivers that have been up front for pretty much most of the race. Obviously keeping their cars clean and staying out of trouble. But we're getting ready to go back green here as we'll cross the line to start lap number 100. As Barney waves the green flag and Dalton Kilrow is now on the loud pedals. They head down the front stretch, and I see that we are back to single file start.
Yeah, yeah. One brief restart there under double file, back to single file once again, and it is going to be Kilrow at the front. I see the 98 there, trying to look to the inside. That is Mike Taylor now on the inside of Moreland for 8th position, and going to have the edge going into turns 3 and 4. With Big League Chew going to move himself now into 8th place. If he can clear him off the corner, but not going to be able to do it. Moreland's still fighting now. He's going to back off now. And the 98 is going to slide into place, but it's going to allow another battle there. Looks like the 02 of Tyler Hilton. New paint scheme out there tonight, and then getting to the inside, and he's going to get a little 2-for-1 action there around the 12 and the 98 through turns 1 and 2 to move himself up into 8th position.
Yes, and you got the 72 back there. Obviously, he needs to continue to march their way forward as he goes to the inside of the 12 as well. So another position loss over at 12, but you see a little wall tap there. I believe that's the 99. Yeah, Ray Courtney. So a little bit tight. Now, obviously, he came and got fuel, but tires are still worn, and trying to maybe dig and be able to keep his position, but unable to do so there. Hopefully not too much damage on that right side, as the number 02 of Tyler Hilton now moving up into P number 7.
Well, and that's why there's a little bit of hastiness to Mike Hasty, as he knows that could eventually be the battle for the lead. He doesn't want to see Hilton get out too far in front of him, because both of them pit on lap 96. They are absolutely clear and good to go to the end. So what you're looking at right there between the 02 and 72 could be the battle for the win if this thing plays out their way. So I'm sure Hasty's going to be trying to get up there and trying to get through turns 3 and 4 a little cleaner than he did earlier, as we watched him slide sideways and gets into the 99 there. And it looks like both of them will save it going through the corner 3 wide. But the 99 of Courtney, he's still trying to get his tires back under control from rushing the wall earlier. But he's going to lose several positions here, fall back to 13th position now. But out front, it is Dalton Kilrow by about 0.8 of a second. Andrew Pileshi now, first time we see him up into 2nd place. But he is certainly not out of it, only 0.8 of a second back. And they got Maxwell Caldwell in the 3rd, Joshua Divers, Ryan Allen at your top 5, with Tyler Hilton now up into 6th.
And as those drivers are kind of making their way around there, obviously, there was Joshua Divers making the move on Maxwell Caldwell, moving the number 57 machine up into P at number 3. So Maxwell Caldwell falling back just a little bit here, as I just caught that as I looked up and seen the numbers red as can be. But again, back up there with Mike Hasties now on the back bumper of that 2 of Todd Merkel. So you're seeing some of these cars moving forward, and Ryan Allen obviously on the move with them newer tires and fresh fuel ready to go to the rest the race, just hoping for some green flag run for the next 44 laps, and they could be sitting in a very good situation here.
I'll tell you, Ryan Allen is probably the exact opposite of everybody. He last pit on lap 57, so he's got the oldest tires of the guys up front here, and he is absolutely gonna need a caution here to stay within the mix of things, as he's gonna need to come in for fuel very soon here, as it's been 50 laps since he's last been in here, but we've got 44 laps to go here. Ryan Allen in that 5th place, but it's Tyler Hilton that is right behind him, and he's looking to try and move through this field as quick as possible to really put pressure on these guys to use up their fuel. Doesn't want them to save it all. He is definitely good to go to the end, pitting on lap 96. Matt Casey is back in 7th place, but it looks like a little bit of a save here again from the 12. You see him dancing a couple times through the corner. Big moment coming off of turn number 2. Took to the grass a little bit, but another great save there from the 12 of Chris Moreland. Unfortunately, he's seen that just one too many times here tonight, that the 12 getting a little bit sideways. I want to send a thank you out one more time before we forget to our sponsors here in the series, Goldline Guardian, Forward Screen Printing, Hilton Crafts and Designs. But Jimmy, we are down to close to 40 laps to go. I think it's about time we crank these boys up and give everyone out there in CRN Nation a little love to hear it.
Yeah, let's keep it clean, keep it green. We're gonna go to switch it over to a little bit of love to hear it. lining things up there, and caution has now flown here on lap 116. It looks like they're involving Chris Schuessler. Not quite sure what happened there, Carl, as the car just took a right-hand turn under the wall.
Well, looked like he did get a little bit loose before that, and yeah, the little bit of correction was not a good correction for sure, and ends up looping it into the wall. But that is going to bring us under caution, and that's music to the ears of everyone up front that had not pit for their last pit stop, as they'll be able to come in right now. And now everyone that pits here will be good to go to the end. So it's certainly not what the guys that pit on lap number 96 wanted to see, but Brandon Muir, DJ Mitzel did take tires under that pit stop on lap number 96, so they will remain out and try to hold off everybody else for the time being. It looks like Dustin Franklin going to come out in third, only taking fuel. Dalton Kilroe going to be the first one out there with 4 tires. Andrew Pileshi going to round out the top 5. Then you got Maxwell Caldwell, Joshua Divers, Tyler Hilton, Ray Courtney, and Mike Hasty going to be your top 10 for this restart. We're going to be under 30 laps to go. Not sure if we see double file or single file at this point, but we've got 18 cars on the lead lap.
18 cars on a lead lap, 18 cars that can definitely win here tonight. Never know what can happen. Obviously, as we've seen, the incidents kind of wreck their totals up here tonight. But yeah, Carl, definitely what Dalton Kilroe was hoping for, and it has fallen in their favor. Obviously, Dustin Franklin only taking gas, but was able to put him in front of Kilroe. But Brandon Muir and DJ Mitzel, I wish you all the best of luck on the little shorter tires, as tires do play a big role here on New Hampshire, and especially with these cars. And they're gonna have their hands full, and hopefully they can get a good finish here. Being able to have that pit strategy where they don't have to come in, Carl. So I mean, we talked about cautions breeding cautions, and for the next 30 laps, and I'm sure that's what Brandon Muir and DJ Mitzel will be kind of hoping for, to maybe keep some of those faster drivers behind them here.
I mean, I think for Brandon Muir, I think his pit crew probably just quit. I mean, they've done enough work here tonight. Stop.
We're not doing it. No.
They're all eating ice cream right now. They are done with the pit stops, but should be getting the one to go here. We got 30 laps to go now as we cross the line, and looks like possibly some double file restart again. If it's double file, it's going to be from the admin letting these guys know they can double it up, and that looks like what we're going to do here. So on the front row, it's going to be Brandon Muir, DJ Mitzel. Second row, Dustin Franklin, Dalton Kilroe. Going to be very interesting to see how this start transpires, as Muir is actually going to take the outside lane, and that is going to help Dalton Kilroe. So yeah, we'll see how this thing plays out. 30 laps to go right now. It'll be 29 at the line. Who do you guys think can pull this thing off? Obviously, Dalton Kilroe has been the man to catch all night here tonight. Now he's got fresh tires. He's on the same strategy as a majority of this field. Everybody can make it to the end of this race. Everybody's good to go on fuel. Who is going to drive the best here? Who's saved those tires? Who's going to make it the last 29 laps? It's in the feet and hands of Brandon Muir. He's on the loud pedal, racing again here at New Hampshire. Great start by the outside lane. Mitzel struggled a little bit to get back going, but he is going to send it to the inside. Try and battle with Kilroe for second place, but Kilroe's going to get a good run on the outside and clear him coming off the corner. So Kilroe to second place. Mitzel trying to hold on to third place, but he's got 3 wide going down the backstretch. The 74 sends it in. The 76 right now was spun, but it looks like he's going to get back going, and we're not going to go under caution, as Mitzel lost 2 spots there heading into turn number 3 as he went 3 wide. The 74 jumping up there into third place. Dustin Franklin back up in the mix. Here comes Kilroe to the inside for the lead on Muir.
Yeah, Muir using that high side. I haven't seen that really in effect too much, but able to get a pretty nice drive off there, as Dalton Kilroe had to keep it down the bottom of the track to give him clearance there up on that top side. So not quite what they needed, but Dalton Kilroe does get back out front as the caution flag flies, this time for Eric Blount. We'll see what happened back here. It will be number 6.
So he drifted up a bit in the corner, gets into the side of the 23 of Billy Van Meter, slides it sideways, almost gets to the same spot, right in between those two tire barriers, but he does collect the tire barrier, spins it back around. Doesn't look like too much damage considering, you know, how hard he hit that tire barrier on the inside, but it is going to put us under another caution. You see pretty clean there. He's got Aflac. That insurance paid off pretty well there. He's got a pretty clean yet on the front end side there, but Dalton Kilrow just making that pass before the start, before the leader. He just got to the lead as the yellow came out. That's what I'm trying to say. And now Mir is going to dive into the pits. Jimmy, 34 in pit lane. Say it ain't so.
Mir, your pit crew might hate you here tonight, but out there able to get a lap led and you know, put on a pretty decent battle there for the few laps that they had. You also see the number 77 in the pits as well, so not quite sure what's going on with some of those cars. Maybe just maybe some extra tires that they left in the pits, or maybe some repairs from on the track that they're just kind of finishing up to give them their best go around here for the remaining, probably about 24 laps remaining when they get that going green here, Carl. But yeah, so things have all changed up a little bit. Then Mir's relinquished that front running position, and now you have Dalton Kilrow, Dustin Franklin, Maxwell Caldwell, Andrew Pileshi, all that have been battling pretty much for the entire evening. Obviously, each one having their own individual obstacles to overcome, with the exception of Kilrow, that which has been out front all evening. But Tyler Hilton in the 02 there in P number 5, doing one heck of a job, Carl. Even you know, coming in when they made their pit, and now, like, you know, they're out there right now. They're able to kind of keep the tires cool. They're not too much different than from the other drivers. Obviously a little bit older, but still going to give them a good opportunity to get a great finish here right now, as they're currently sitting in P number 5.
Well, just about every pit stop Brandon Mir has made tonight is kind of left me scratching my head, but this one even more so. He's up there in second place. I understand he's at a bit of disadvantage, you know, compared to everybody else, having about 20 lap older tires. But he comes in and takes fuel only. He should have been able to go on fuel. I'm not sure what's the ideas of coming in and taking fuel. Obviously, he probably doesn't have any more tires left to be able to take it. It certainly would have taken him if he did, but 25 laps to go. Yeah, questionable there for Mir, but the other question is, the 74 is in second, the 95 is in third. Have not seen them close together since the incident earlier on in the race. Is there anything else in store? Does the storyline have another chapter here for the 95 and 74? We're about to find out as the guys are doubled back up here. It's going to be 23 laps to go at the line. Andrew Pileshi up there looking to make it 3 wins out of the last 4 races and really keep climbing those tables for the championship running, as again, 2 races ago he was plenty far back there, but starting to make his way up for sure. We'll see if he can keep doing it here and maybe get the best of Dalton Kilrow, but it's going to be tough as he's been very good here tonight. He has got the control again, starting on that outside, already on the loud pedal. We are racing again here at New Hampshire. Great start by the 41. The 74 has got his hands full with the 81 on the outside. Battle for second place, and Pileshi trying to get it done, very close to contact, but we've already got a wreck at the back of the field. Looks like this is a big one here, involving several cars.
I'll go back here with Ryan Allen. See Len McNeese going to the outside there. We'll see as it develops, as it looks like the 77 gets into the 87, bringing that car to the side. The 77 slowing up. The 12 not as quick. Gets into the back of the 77. The 77 is going to hit the 6. 12 into the 76. 87 is turned around. Everybody else is taking big evasive maneuvers to not to get involved there. But yeah, quick one. Cautions breeding cautions near the end of this race. Down to 22 laps to go. You know, and it's all, I'm sure, playing into the hands of Dalton Kilroe, you know, with them good restarts. Obviously, he's been fast on track all night, but just it does help, you know, out there. Pressure's off a little bit. You get a chance to get a jump start. The last restart, the 74, did not have the restart that he wanted, and he kind of was a little bit sluggish, had a little bit of pressure there from the 95 to kind of push him along, and but they kept it clean up there, and you know, you think it, obviously you might have seen maybe the 95 maybe dive down to the inside or something to try to make it by, but so far looks like the tempers, if there was any, are subsided for now between the that battle there between the 95 and 74 that we've seen here early. So another interesting one here tonight as these drivers continue to try to finish up here at New Hampshire.
Jimmy, it's early. We still got 20 laps to go this time by. I don't think we've seen the end of this just yet, but I think we've seen the end of Andrew Pileshi. He is now in second place again. And again, we've seen him for most of the race hanging out there in the top 5. A little bit later on in the run, found himself in the second place for the first time now as we're getting into the heart of this race. Deep into this race, 20 laps to go right now. He's back into second place. Does he have what it takes to get around Dalton Kilroe? It's been one thing for some of these drivers out here keeping up with Kilroe for a little bit, but it's making that pass. Nobody has even been able to attempt to pass yet on that 41, and it doesn't help that he seems like he's the control car just about every one of these restarts here tonight, and we've had quite a few of them, but it's going to be, looks like the pace car lights are still on, so 18 laps to go once we get this thing back green. And that's all Dalton Kilroe's going to hold these guys off for is 18 laps, and it's going to seem like an eternity with these cautions. Hopefully we can finally get a little bit of a groove here and finally get some green flag laps in and see what these guys can do to the end, but I don't know if I can really say that with a straight face, because now is when it's going to start ramping up, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's 20 to go, so you know the gloves are going to be coming up. A lot of the try to push the car to get a great finish is really in the brain as this thing comes down to an end, and with the cautions flying, you know, I can see drivers, you know, trying to take advantage of being too wide and get any position they can on maybe somebody's bad startup or somebody's spinning the tires from the get-go. So it's going to be an interesting one here, Carl, for sure, as they line up here as they travel down the backstretch, looking to start here and hopefully end this thing in green here at New Hampshire.
Kilroe out here looking for win number 4 on the season. Certainly had a nice string of wins to start the year, as he won the opener at Atlanta and then won race number 4 at the Milwaukee Mile, and won race number 10 at Kansas, but it's been about 4 or 5 races since his last one. Looking for win number 4 here tonight. Another good start for the 41. The 81 gets a good enough start there in second as well. Battle for third as the 95 going to go to the outside of the 74, but that's going to shake out for the time being, and the 74 going to slide into third, try and get a good run down the backstretch is Franklin. But it's going to be Kilroe, Pileshi, but Franklin sends it on the inside and sends the 81 around. We've got another caution here, and wow, could have been a lot worse with the 81 drifting down the track, but the 74 certainly not making friends out here tonight.
Really trying to push things here at the end, and we talked about the temptation to kind of push the cars to the limit. We're going to slow it down here for you. As you see the 74 trying to make the move, as the 81 had a little bit space, but definitely too much speed for the 74, unable to hold it down to the bottom, tags the rear end of the 81, puts them the 81 in the wall. The 74 will go up and hit the wall. The 72 of Mike Hasey, nowhere to go. You see the 99 go inside, doing some drifting there, trying to manage their run there is that, the 99 was really close there. So a few cars else getting involved, going around. Looks like somebody else all F4 out to save somebody from any incidents there, but definitely wasn't quite expecting that from the leaders, as there is a few laps still remaining, but it's definitely put that big hamper on the 81 as they are coming down the pits, probably for some minor repairs or a fast repair I'm sure that he had in the pocket there. So right now that's going to leave Dalton Kilrow and the 95 of Maxwell Caldwell, and then our boy, the 02 of Tyler Hilton, up 20 spots, biggest mover of the night, staying out of the calamity up there, able to get around, but sitting in P number 3. So looking to get his first podium finish of the season. Joshua Divers back there in P number 4. Billy Van Meter, another driver I talked about a little bit earlier to keep an eye on, sitting in P number 5, up 14 spots. John Garrett back out there, Carl, in P6. And then got Todd Merkel, Brandon Mears in P number 8, Len McNeese in P number 9, and Mike Taylor in that number 98. Big League 2, round out your top 10.
I mean, we're under caution, more of a chance to pit, but Brandon Mears staying out, staying in that top 5, top 10. But while we got some time, if we can take a look at that wreck one more time, I'd like to see that incident there from the point of view of the 6, and right along board with Eric Blunt, as he was certainly involved in quite a bit here tonight. He did have the car cleaned back up after the impact that he had, but I mean, he had cars going everywhere in front of him here, and you can even do it at full speed and just show you what he was looking at here, as tons of cars in front of him right now, and then all of a sudden just smoke and cars everywhere, and then just the seas parted and he got around and got through, and I mean, brown pants moment multiple times there through that caution. But yeah, I seen that briefly, and I'm like, oh, we got to see that one more time.
Yeah, heart rate, 100 to 150, and 0.2 seconds there for the 6 of Eric Blount. Definitely has had their trials and tribulations here tonight, being involved in a few things, getting involved, self-spin off of pit road entry there at the tire barriers over the tunnel. So definitely an interesting run there for the number 6, but currently sitting in P number 11, Carl. So been able to make a pretty good comeback with some of these late cautions, and not being able to not getting involved in them, and being in position just like that there, just kind of making his way through. So a little bit of luck there for the number 6 Affleck machine.
Well, we are doubled up here again. 14 laps to go. It's going to be 13 at the line. It's time to fire these cars off one more time. The 41 of Kilrow taking the inside. 95 Caldwell on the outside. Has got nobody to deal with but Kilrow. But Kilrow gets an amazing launch again here. He's going to take an easy lead in turn number 1. Caldwell going to slot into second. Battle for second between Hilton on the inside, Divers on the outside. Divers going to get a good run on the outside. They're going to pull side by side though off the corner. A little bit of a bobble from the 02, but Len McNeese goes sideways and hard impact to the infield. Not sure if we're going to see the caution or not. He's well off the track. In the grass, 34 Mir goes way high into turns 3 and 4. Hilton now has his hands full with Garrett, who is working his way through the field up to P number 5 right now.
Yeah, Garrett is having a pretty good run early on, and now trying to finish this thing up as the 02 as well. Now trying to get back into P number 3 as 57 of Joshua Divers. It did make it around here. Got 12 laps to go. So a good little run here towards the end. Can they make things happen? John Garrett and Tyler Hilton now side by side, and John Garrett looking to take over P number 4 here tonight.
Yeah, Garrett with a very intimidating move into turn number 3, but Hilton was not phased at all. Held his line, and Garrett held his line pretty well too, but now he's going to send it on the inside of turns 1 and 2, and looking to try and get the pass done. Both of them get a little sideways. Garrett now takes through the grass. He's going to save it down there, but he's going to lose a ton of time. Now here comes Billy Van Meter getting himself up there in a battle for 4th. Hilton Young way up, or Tyler Hilton up way high. Van Meter gonna make the pass.
Yeah, so the 0-2 just sending in just a little bit too hard there, but Billy Van Meter able to make the move on the 0-2, move that number 23 back up into Pete and number 4. So a great move there by the 23, but it's not over yet. The 0-2 will be looking to get back around. Now back with Todd Merkel back in P. Number 6 makes the move. There around the 80, well, the 83 is a...
83 of Brandon Medford getting a little sideways out of turn number 2, tagging the wall, and he's got some company now on the inside still with Ryan Allen trying to make his way up through there, and he's probably got some angry tires. Out front, Dalton Kilroe still out in the lead at 9/10 of a second, trying to stretch out and walk away. 9 laps to go here at New Hampshire. Maxwell Caldwell doing his best to just keep up with him, but it looks like at best he's going to be his second best. Joshua Divers, a good job working his way up into that podium spot here late in the race. Started back in 10th, he's up to 3rd. But Billy Van Meter, Tyler Hilton in 4th and 5th, both up a bunch of positions, 15 and 18 respectively. But Hilton wants to have those honors and get up a little bit higher and finish in 4th place to the inside of Van Meter. They almost make contact. The 2 get sideways. Gonna save it, and they're still side by side coming off the corner, but Van Meter still gonna hold on to 4th place as they head down the backstretch.
Yeah, so good racing by these two here. They obviously push. You can see that they're pushing how hungry they are to get a good finish and best one another here. Hopefully not take each other out, because these two drivers definitely deserve to be here with the runs that they've had here tonight, as Dalton Kilroe is still out front over Maxwell Caldwell, Joshua Divers, and Billy Van Meter. Tyler Hilton and Todd Merkel back there as well, fighting their ways through.
Big hit of the wall by Mike Hasty coming out of turn number 2. Kept it straight, but that is certainly going to hurt. That number 72 is side by side now for 4th as Hilton goes to the inside of Van Meter across the line, give the edge slightly to Van Meter, but Tyler Hilton is there. And side by side, almost getting into each other into 1 and 2. But Hilton going to push his way around and get back into 4th as Van Meter gets sideways and is going to get into the wall. We'll see if he can keep it going here, and he will. No caution on the track as he's going to get back going, but lost a ton of positions there. And sad to see as Van Meter was up there battling for 4th, now way back in 17th, just like that. As you see, the field is just a gaggle right behind him right now.
Yeah, big gaggle back here, and P number 6, 7, 8. You see the 81 of Andrew Pilecki trying to make their way back up to the field. Obviously, we know where he should be at, but making moves happen here late. Trying to get around, got a lap car there. Len McNeese down to the bottom, so forcing maybe these cars to go 3 wide on the exit here, coming down the front stretch.
What a job by Pilecki here, as obviously he had to come in and make a pit stop there on 134. He has passed a ton of cars here, all the way up to 6th place, or battling for 6th place right now with Merkel. So that is one heck of a comeback in a short amount of time for Pilecki, and really just point saving at this point after he got taken out by the 74. But still has a chance to get into the top 6, 4 laps to go as they come off of turn number 4. Kilroe is going to see the 3 laps to go from Barney, and he's only got 3 miles to get win number 4 here with that 41 machine. Maxwell Caldwell still hanging out in 2nd, Joshua Divers in 3rd, Hilton in 4th, and Medford, even after banging off the wall, is hanging on to 5th, but Pilecki now up into 6th. He makes the pass on Merkel, who lost another position to Ryan Allen, who moves into 7th place. Mir and Hasty going to round out your top 10, but now we've got 2 laps to go as this thing is winding down very quickly as Mir up into the top 10. No time to pit right now, Mir. You just got to hang on for 2 more laps, keep that thing in the top 10. Good bounce back about 17 times here for the 6th, the way it seems. He is now up into the top 10 right behind Mir. So, I mean, really a lot of different tales in this race being spun, but coming out of turn number 4, that 41 going to see the white flag this time by.
Yeah, front pretty much getting a little loose there from the 6. Really trying to press it as the final lap ensues here. Back for Pete, number 6 with Andrew Pileshi, and just getting around Ryan Allen. I see that 83 getting loose, and Pileshi probably licking his chops, maybe seeing if he could pick that one up, but everything's going to end here for Dalton Kilroe, as he is now the winner here at New Hampshire. So great win, great drive by the 41. I don't think you can ask for a better run there from Dalton Kilroe here tonight, followed by Maxwell Caldwell finishing in P number 2. Joshua Divers will be 3rd. Tyler Hilton will be 4th. So great run, 19 spots gained tonight, Carl. And then you have Brandon Mefford for your top 5.
And then the top 5 only by 0.05 seconds, as Pileshi gave it one heck of a battle to the line. Almost got himself all the way back up to the top 5, but falls 0.05 of a second short. In 6th place, Ryan Allen, Todd Merkel, Brandon Meir, and Eric Blunt going to round out your top 10. A bit of cautions here tonight at New Hampshire, but it certainly played out in the favor of the 41. And gotta say, the most deserving driver for the win here tonight. He was fast the entire night, led a ton of laps here. I mean, only 150 laps here on the docket, but it feels like he led about 275. He was out there in the lead for so much of this race, so he was certainly the one deserving of the win here tonight. Maxwell Caldwell did a heck of a job fighting back, getting to 2nd place. Joshua Divers was back there in 10th place on the start, and it just seemed like he was slowly picking his way methodically through this field. And I think a well-deserved top 3 podium spots for these guys here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the drivers did a great job, and you know, whether they were involved in something or not early on, they were able to, make their way back up to the field, get back in positions to kind of where they started. Joshua Divers was obviously up 7 spots from the start, so you start back there in P number 10, so not too far back, Carl, but like I said, a lot of great driving for some of these drivers. Some drivers having some issues, whether it was Ty Marasco unfortunately having some internet issues, kind of taking them out of the races. We've seen that number 1 machine up front a few times this season so far as well, so great finish here tonight, and looking forward to talking to these drivers and get their side of the story.
Looks like we got all 3 in here and the waiting room ready to go, and we'll start it off with our 3rd place finisher here tonight, and that being the 57 of Joshua Divers. And Josh, you started back there in 10th place, and this is a tricky track to make a clean pass, make a quick pass, and save tires while you're doing so. But you kind of slowly, methodically made your way up through this field. Obviously, a ton of cautions here tonight, but you find your way up there in 3rd, and you got to feel like that's a pretty good finish, I would think.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It was probably one of the most stressful races I've had. The car was just a handful to drive, and you just couldn't let up your focus for 1 second, or you were going to snap loose and go right for the wall. It just seemed really hard to race out there. I was just trying to take it easy and just be a smooth operator. I kept saying that in my head, to be a smooth operator, just don't make no mistakes, and we'll get there. And right there at the end, that's what it took. Just slowly moving up through the field, taking my time, not making any mistakes, man. And that's I'm happy. I'm very happy with the P3.
So, I mean, I assume that the answer is going to be extremely stressful, but I mean, how ridiculous was it out there? It's hard enough battling the car, battling this track, battling the heat. I mean, the track was blazing out there, wasn't exactly cool out there on the track temperature. But then with all these cautions happening, and you guys only have a certain amount of tires in the pits, how was it just trying to figure out everything, trying to figure out strategy, when you make that last pit stop, when you take that last set of tires? It's just a little bit going on in the heads here tonight.
It was hard. It was really hard to have the strategy, have the car control, know your surroundings and all of it at once. It definitely took a lot of focus, and it was really hard to figure out when to take the tires there, especially towards the end. Like we had a caution and a little too early where we couldn't make it. It was like lap 95. So we couldn't quite make it. So it was a really hard decision there to make, either pit, take fuel and tires, but we decided just to stay out and just run it out green. And it ended up working out when we ran it out green. But of course we ended up getting more cautions there at the end. But I mean, it's hard not to get cautions on a track that's that hot, and then the cars are just so on edge. and it just makes it it made it fun, made it fun where you're on the edge of your seat the whole race.
Yeah, it was certainly fun watching you guys out there, and it was not easy. You could tell. I mean, this track is never that easy when it comes to driving through the corners, just having the patience to let the car roll through the corners, and not just want to jump on the gas right away. And then, especially coming off the corners, you can't jump on the gas right away. It doesn't matter if you're running the solstice around here. This thing is going to get a little butt hurt coming on the throttle off these corners. But you did a good job out here tonight. The cautions, one way or another, fell your way. You finish up here in third place on the podium. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, man, I'd like to shout out Dalton and Max, man. They were so fast. I mean, there was just no way I could compete with them guys. I'm happy to take my third place. Congrats to them. They were really fast out there. Then second, my teammates Ryan Allen, Billy Van Meter. They helped with the strategy and help each other try to get to learn these cars. And our team, Chaos Motorsports, Cutscene, Keep Digging, Edco Weldon, Circle City Raceway, Cutscene, all them guys, man. I'd like to thank you guys for putting it on. Everybody.
Well, certainly going to be a good points night for you again, and to help you out in the chance at the championship here tonight. It's going to be tough to catch that 41. Seems to be clicking pretty well, but you keep on clicking out these good finishes, and you give yourself a chance. So, congrats on the podium. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Yeah, have a good one.
That is your third place finish here tonight, the 57 of Joshua Divers. Second place here tonight is going to be the 95 of Maxwell Caldwell. Bit of an up and down night for him for sure. Jimmy, why don't you go and take the 95?
Hey, Max, Jimmy and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
You had one interesting night, sir, as you started up there in P number 2. You end up finishing in P number 2, but the beginning of the race definitely kind of had a little tie up there, set you back just a little bit, so kind of put you behind the 8 ball. Lots of cautions to kind of work through, pit strategies and whatnot. So kind of give us a rundown of how you overcome the early incidents to put you back up there for the finish in second.
I got very fortunate when I need to probably go back and watch that. Me and Dalton were just talking, though. We both feel like he kind of turned down. I don't know what y'all saw in the booth, but I thought we were both on the straight. But regardless, kind of did a 360 and nobody hit me, and that was the big thing. So 360 and still stayed in 10th after that. So that was very fortunate. But I had to run those tires for a while. So I just kind of had to claw my way, I think, back to 4th, maybe, is where I got back to before we finally pitted. Maybe got 3rd. I can't remember. But the cautions really messed with a lot of the pit strategy. I mean, it helped us at the beginning because fuel was going to be that really odd, 2 or 3 laps away from making the window to do it in 2 stops work. So that was unfortunate. So we were trying to save a lot of the time, me and my teammates. But yeah, the cautions made it where we could go long, so then we just wanted to milk that tank dry, and luckily that's yellow before the first pit stop came out, with 2 laps left in the tank, so that was perfect timing. And it also trapped some guys a lap down. I think they might have took the wave around, but still. And then from there, it was just, man, crazy night. I mean, going to single file restarts, then back to double, then back to single, then back to double, and anytime I've seen a league do that, it's never the restarts that are the problem. It's just the aggressive driving that's the problem. If you're wrecking too wide, you're going to wreck single file. But all in all, crazy stuff happened. Watched one driver take 3 guys out on his own before leaving. And unfortunately, one of those was my teammate there at the end. He was running really good, so shout out to Andrew Pleshy. He was right there in second for a little bit and was capitalizing on others' mistakes and just got cleaned. But all in all, a pretty decent race. I just wish it could have went green a little bit more, and Dalton's fast. He was lights out. He was fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying, fastest in the race. So P2 here, not going to complain. This is one of my favorite tracks. Most people hate it. I like the precise driving you got to do with it. I met my match. I had nothing for that 41 tonight.
Hey, I mean, maybe you could teach me something out there because I despise flat, shorter tracks and definitely struggle myself. But yeah, Andrew did end up finishing. He worked his way back up into P number 6 for the evening and was definitely another one of them cars up there battling for the podium's positions. But yeah, so you guys did a great job. And again, just from CRN, I want to say congratulations, but also give you a little bit of time for any shots they might have at number 95.
Oh, absolutely. First and foremost, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I mean, the blessings he's blessed me with to be able to come and race with this group of guys. Even though races can be frustrating, that's a part of any league. Still had a great time tonight compared to most leagues I've been in. So a lot of fun. These guys have camaraderie. We can talk after the race with different teams and just kind of have a good time about it all. So blessed and honored to be able to run in this league with these guys and be able to meet all these people and you guys in the booth. And also got to give a shout out to Merkel Racing Engines for being on the hood. Man, he's sponsored me for a couple years now. So glad to get him up here for a P2 finish and rep his business. Always love supporting the local guy up there in New England. So got to thankful for him. Also for my teammates, Todd and Andrew, we ran pretty solid all night. Justin wasn't able to make it tonight. Hopefully he'll race with us again next time. And then shout out to the league for putting on some great races. I love the track selection they've had. Most leagues won't run here, and I think it had to be thoroughly entertaining watching guys get loose, slide around, and wiggle up in the booth. And thankful for you guys in the booth. Y'all do a fantastic job. I go back and watch these things, and man, professionalism to a T. Y'all do a fantastic job. From a guy that's done some iRacing broadcasting myself in the past for some leagues, trust me, y'all do a fantastic job, and I really enjoy getting to go back and watch it.
We really appreciate that, Max, and yeah, check out that 360 because it was in like shocking awe that the other racers and the awareness that they had tonight with the incidents were able to avoid you for you to continue without a damaged car. So it was a great sight to see. But again, congratulations on that second place, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Max, I can just picture you in the car, kind of like Ricky Bobby when he was flying through the air, and I just picture you screaming as you're spinning, doing that 360 out there.
It was a little nuts, I'll say that. I'm blessed that I didn't get hit by somebody. I was like, whew.
Well, hey, it worked out. I mean, you got to do maybe a little bit more 360s, so you get a first place. I mean, you only did one, you got second. So you just throwing that out there for next race. Congrats.
Got you guys. Thank you.
As your second place finisher, the 95, Maxwell Caldwell. Finally, the guy we'll bring in is the one that dominated out here tonight. Dalton, you didn't have any help out there. No Brian Dees, no Derek Paulson. Ty Maraska was in there for about half the time that he was in there with all the blinking that he was doing before he ended up getting in a wreck and calling it a night. So he just, I assume, kind of threw your hands up and said, screw it, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah, I was a little lonely tonight, but I think that kind of helped because I was able to stay in my rhythm and just kind of focus on what I needed to do and stay as consistent as possible. And clearly that worked out for me.
Yeah, I mean, you were the class of the field here tonight. You clearly had the fastest car, and anytime you got any kind of green flag runs, you were checking out pretty quickly here. And it's not that easy to do while trying to save some tires and everything going on. But talk me through how rough it was out there with so many cautions and so many times you're getting grouped back up. Every time you got a good restart, but it's still, it's negating those leads that you build up and all those times that you can just kind of run away from the field and you just have to kind of stress about it one more time.
Yeah, the cautions were definitely not helping my stress levels. I know I wanted to get some green flag pit stops in, but it's probably for the best that an MFRD driver doesn't have to deal with green flag pit stops, considering our history of messing them up. So
a little bit.
But the one caution towards the end of that first run there where I had like a 5-second lead, that one stung the most, just because I was like, man, I just built up 5 seconds here and that's just gone, just poof. But luckily was able to at least keep the car underneath me. I know it was definitely tough out there for a lot of guys. I know for me personally, I was downshifting to third gear because it would help me get the car slowed down, and then I was just able to rotate the center and just kind of stay with it. as long as I didn't, jam the throttle down, I was fine. But I heard a couple other people, they were like, oh, we were just staying in fourth gear the entire race. So they were kind of shocked when I said I was downshifting. But
we heard it wasn't too many of them. There was definitely some guys shifting, but it wasn't too many guys shifting out there. But I gotta imagine that the toughest one to decide pit stop wise and caution wise was around the 100 mark. You guys had a caution about like 95, 96. What was going through your head at that point? Were you doing some calculating, trying to figure out if you can make it to the end? Were you just hoping that there was going to be one more caution at some point during the race to get you in there for that last pit stop?
I was pretty sure that nobody was going to be able to make it to the end from there, because I mean, even when I was trying to do, like when I had a good gap, I was trying to do some lifting and coasting into the corners just to see if I could save a little bit. I wasn't like throwing the clutch in or anything like that, but I couldn't even touch 50. So with over 55 to go by the time we were about to go green, it was no question. Plus I still had 15, 20 laps in the tank. And I just had confidence in my speed, and I knew if we got enough of a run, I could probably build a gap to where even if somebody was to short pit me from behind, I could still, make my green flag pit stop and get out ahead of them. So we just kind of maintaining my confidence tonight.
Well, it should be a good amount of confidence. You get your fourth win here on the season, most out of anybody, more than Derek Paulson. So whether he was here or not, you can let him know next time you see him that you're the top dog now and have the most wins and the most points, as you're going to walk away here 31-point lead over Joshua Divers heading into next week. How do you feel about the rest of the season? Do you feel like you got a hold on these guys? Do you feel like it's going to be a week by week and you got to look in the mirror at some point?
I feel like it's going to be week by week. Nothing's ever certain. Plus, again, my luck the last few months hasn't been the greatest. And with, 7 races to go, anything can happen. That 31-point lead can evaporate in the blink of an eye. I have one bad race and Josh goes up and finishes second. That gap's gone. So just going to focus on keeping the car as clean as possible, making sure I'm still up there at the end, and if I win, I win. If I finish top 5, I'm top 5. But as long as I just have good runs and consistent runs for the rest of the season, I think I'll be okay. But again, nothing's ever certain.
Absolutely. Well, that's what you had so far, as you got 9 top 5s, 10 top 10s out of the 14 races that you started, and 2/3 of the way through this thing, you're in the right spot. You're 31 points up. So congrats on the success so far. Congrats on the win here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Well, I would definitely got to thank MFRD just for the whole squad. I know obviously they weren't really here tonight, but we're always vibing, so we're having fun with that. I got to thank Gold Line Guardians, you guys obviously for doing the broadcast for us, Hilton Cross and Designs. I just failed English right there. And then Fort Worth Screen Printing, and all the admins at Virtual Velocity Racing for putting this league on.
Well, good job again here tonight's 4th win of the season. We'll see if you can double it up and go for number 5 next week as we head to Nashville Super Speedway. So we'll see you out there on the track, and hopefully we'll see some teammates out there. But you know what? Even if not, like I said, just do it yourself, damn it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
All right. That is the winner here tonight, the 41 of Dalton Kilroe, as he is your points leader and doing exactly what he needs to do here late in the season. Like you said, 7 races to go, as we got Nashville coming up next week before for the 4th of July, and then Pocono and Indianapolis before we take the summer break here in the series here, VVR. But, I mean, we did have a good amount of cautions here tonight, but a lot of comeback stories here. I mean, we talk about Paleshi making a big comeback there at the very end, almost grabbing a 5th place on the night. Todd Merkel doing a good job up there in 8th place for quite some time. We were watching Tyler Hilton all the way up there, up a ton of positions, up inside the top 5 and battling up there for a podium spot. Eric Blunt seemed like he was involved in just about everything here tonight and still finds a top 10. Brandon Muir, pit crew of the year here tonight, gets him a 9th place. So, I mean, Jimmy, a lot of cautions, but a lot of storylines.
Yeah, a lot of storylines, and obviously a lot of learning from all the drivers out there. To have 28 drivers tackle New Hampshire and get out here on Yeah, 1 mile track, but a short, flat track, and we've seen the challenges, and they come and go, and some nights they're perfect, and some nights they're fulfilled with the stories that you see here that we provided here live on CRN. But just to kind of go through the rest of the field and where everybody finished before we wrap things up. Dalton Kilrow, obviously the winner here tonight over Maxwell Caldwell and Joshua Divers for your top 3, but then you had Tyler Hilton, Brandon Mefford, Andrew Paleschi, Ryan Allen, Todd Merkel, Brandon Meir, and Eric Blount for your top 10. Then you had Mike Hasty in number 72, Mike Taylor, Ray Courtney, Michael Pratt up there in P number 14, Billy Van Meter finishing in 15th, DJ Mitzel, Chris Moreland, John Garrett, Chris Schuessler, Len McNeese, Mike Rideout, Hilton Young, Dustin Franklin finishing back there in 23rd, Gordon Larson, Hemi back there in 25th, Douglas Johnson back there in 26th, and Tim Williams, and then Ty Marasco. So just want to say thanks to all the drivers that continue to come out each week here at VVR. It does make a great show, and you got to get out there, get your time in the car, and I don't know. I wish I had the answer to help some drivers out there with getting on that throttle, trying to get around here. But I am not the guy to answer. Obviously, the drivers up front, Dalton Kilrow and Maxwell Caldwell, Josh Divers, talk with them teams maybe offline and see if you can get some tips or something that might help you out back there, or see if you can even join in on their team. Maybe get some teachings in, but great run by everybody out there tonight, Carl.
15 races now in the books. 2/3 of the season is done. Only 7 remain on the schedule. So it's about to be go time here for the run for the championship. But a lot of the guys are going to be chasing that man on the screen, the 41 of Dalton Kilrow. Thank you again, everyone that showed out here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, and especially get these guys a little bit of extra showtime and some coverage out there for Velocity Racing for their 2024 Cup Series. Thank you again to the sponsors here in the series, Goldline Guardians, Fort Worth Screen Printing, Hilton Crafts and Designs, and as Jimmy said, all the racers out here putting on a good size field here once again. That is going to do it for CRN's coverage of the Virtual Velocity Racing Series. For myself and Jimmy at New Hampshire, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.